At which point Joey said, "Oh, so now you Jack Kennedy too, huh, kid?" And Ryan said, "I'm closer to him than you are." Well, I think, doesn't matter, but I think we were the first popular major media outlet to dredge up a speech made by President Kennedy, 1962, December 14th, in New York City at the New York Economic Club. It was JFK making the case for tax cuts as a means of growing the economy. 1962. There is no Democrat alive today who would make this speech. If JFK were alive today and hadn't changed, he wouldn't find room for himself in the Democrat Party. The things that JFK says in this speech are daily mocked, laughed at, impugned, made fun of, and the people who believe in these things are targeted for personal destruction. I think, well, I don't know. We got them from somewhere is my point. We dredged them up from some archives. But we were the first major media outlet to find these in the archives and play them. And here they are. It's old and scratchy. No doubt it comes from 1962.
This administration pledged itself last summer to an across-the-board, top-to-bottom cut in personal and corporate income taxes to be enacted and become effective in 1963. I am not talking about a quickie or a temporary tax cut, which would be more appropriate if a recession were imminent. Nor am I talking about giving the economy a mere shot in the arm to ease some temporary complaint. The federal government's most useful role is not to rush into a program of excessive increases in public expenditures, but to expand the incentives and opportunities for private expenditures.
This speech was given 2 years before Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, 2 years before the Civil Rights Act, 2 years before the war on poverty, 2 years before welfare, 2 years before Medicare was created, 2 years for all these entitlements other than Social Security. It was 2 years before the war on poverty. The 1962, the economy's in a slowdown after the 50s boom, post-war. And JFK, a Democrat, popularly elected president, is advocating tax cuts in the same sense that Arthur Laffer always has, or Ronald Reagan, or Jack Kemp, or me, or anybody else with a brain. Jack Kennedy. For a time, the most popular Democrat alive or dead, martyred. I wonder how many Democrats alive hearing this today have never heard it before and are having trouble believing it. JFK. There's not a Democrat alive who would make this speech today, and this speech is exactly what is needed today. The philosophies, the policies in the JFK speech is exactly what is needed today, and everything JFK advocates is opposed top to bottom by today's Democrat Party.
When consumers purchase more goods, plants use more of their capacity, men are hired instead of laid off, investment increases, and profits are high. Corporate tax rates must also be cut to increase incentives and the availability of investment capital. The government has already taken major steps this year to reduce business tax liability and to stimulate the modernization, replacement, and expansion of our productive plant and equipment.
My gosh, folks, a Democrat president talking positively about profit. A Democrat president talking positively about business expansion and incentivizing business by lowering taxes. Investment increases, profits high, corporate tax rates must be cut. A Democrat president suggesting this. That's right, a rich Democrat president. 1962, 50 years ago, right? 50 years ago. Here's the next bite.
Our true choice is not between tax reduction on the one hand and the avoidance of large federal deficits on the other. It is increasingly clear that no matter what party is in power, so long as our national security needs keep rising, an economy hampered by restrictive tax rates will never produce enough revenues to balance our budget just as it will never produce enough jobs or enough profits. Surely the lesson of the last decade is that budget deficits are not caused by wild-eyed spenders, but by slow economic growth and periodic recessions. And any new recession would break all deficit records. In short, it is a paradoxical truth that tax rates are too high today and tax revenues are too low. And the soundest way to raise the revenues in the long run is to cut the rates now.